3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to Lucky Lotus. My name's Brijesh.
I'm Jimmy, Lucky Lotus FM. Find us where you find podcasts, social media. Before we get started, before we do any tags, we want to talk about a big mistake we made last week, which was getting almost every fact of the Indian plane crash incorrect.
Which it was a very tragic incident, so we do apologize for getting the facts wrong on it because over 242 people died except for the one lone survivor. And we're going to set the record straight. So exactly what happened.
So that's the death count.
And that's the death count. And
what kind of plane was it?
787-8 Dreamliner.
Yeah, not a 737 like we said last week.
Yeah. So
there also was reports this week that they believe it was a hydraulic failure. Everyone's saying they don't know what it is. We said that on the pod if you listen. Now, if you just watch the clips and you're not a true fan and you're watching this for the first time, I understand how you could get so out of alignment in the comments, chat.
Well, hey, I just want to say out there, be careful. If you get in the chat, Jimmy's coming after you.
Yeah, do not drop a comment and think I'm not going to see it. And I'm not going to absolutely body you.
It was a masterclass.
So is there anything else we need to correct about that? Oh, excuse me, that this is a dumb podcast and that we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Dumb and Dumber. Dude.
Dumb and Dumber. There just like Key Glock and Young Dolph.
There we go. Who's Key Glock? I'll be Young Dolph.
That's fine. I'll be Key Glock. Key Glock's still alive. You really don't know a lot about rap. You're like, I'll be Young Dolph. I don't care. He had a great life.
Who cares? So let me just read off exactly what happened. Shortly after takeoff from Sardar Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad, the aircraft failed to gain altitude properly. Witnesses and preliminary radar data suggest a plane lost thrust or suffered an engine failure. Emergency power systems like the Ram Air Turbine, or RAT for short, deployed midair, indicating a critical power failure. The plane attempted to circle back, but ultimately crashed into a building near the medical college, causing additional ground injuries and destruction. So that's what happened. Still, our hearts go out to those families that lost loved ones, and we pray for the one lone survivor and hope he has a speedy recovery. But the trauma he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life is going to be something else.
What I did find out about this, Brijesh, since we talked about it last week, was that apparently no one cares about the tragedy. They just care about being source. Yeah. Or saying, you don't even have your facts right, buddy.
And the tragedy lasted in the spotlight for maybe less than a day before Iran, Israel, that whole debacle took off.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a listener of this podcast and you care more about correcting us than you do about making Boeing a safer company for everybody in the world, you're what's wrong with the world.
Boeing, get your shit straight.
You have also solidified for me, chat, that TikTok is the meanest of all social media companies.
Not Reddit?
This is exactly what the Chinese were looking for. Not Reddit. I thought Reddit used to be, but they actually have a lot of good information on there versus TikTok's more about wrong.
Yeah.
Source.
Still, we got engagement.
These guys are dumb.
On that note, please like and subscribe and follow our podcast on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or not Twitter, X. Instagram,
Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Like and follow and help us grow.
Ring that bell. All right, we're going to get into it this week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Lucky Lotus Podcast. That's been our error and omission segment. We're going to talk about the most pressing thing, World War III.
Okay.
On the brink.
Hit us with what you know so far.
So we've got Israel, Iran right now. We've got a lot of things going on. Donald Trump today gave them a 2-week notice saying... It's not me, it's you. And they have 2 weeks to meet his demands.
Which is a crazy statement to say when they were about to meet this Sunday, or last Sunday, by the time this podcast comes out, that they were ready to negotiate about their nuclear program and how to start, not de-escalating, but how to start lowering their enrichment levels, because they're at 60%. That was supposed to be deterrent to other countries. But since they launched this attack, or not the U.S., since Israel preemptively launched this attack, those peace talks have gone to the wind.
Yeah, we're not taking sides. We're just reporting the facts. So we do want to say it seems like from an independent U.S. perspective, the U.S. has now been sucked into another war in the Middle East.
And it's another war that we have no business being in.
It's another Ukraine.
Yeah, it's another Ukraine. It should be treated like the Ukraine-Russia incident where...
So just for the other side of the fence, it is, if we don't do this, the problem will be at our doorstep is what people are saying online. And we're not going to debate whether that's right or wrong. I'm just giving both sides of the argument as this has to be done. It's a safety issue. And then the other side is we don't have dominion over the region of the Middle East.
But please keep in mind that the same propaganda was used in 2001 to get us involved in the conflict over in the Middle East. And it's the same playbook used over and over again. Now it's going to get us involved in this conflict as well.
Lindsey Graham has been begging for them to go to war for months.
Yeah,
right?
For months. It's Iran did this, Iran did that. It's check underneath your bed. Iran's underneath your bed.
And then to hold him accountable, Donald Trump did run on that he will be the most peaceful president of all time. He wants people to stop dying on both sides of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah.
But now he's getting sucked into this Middle East that doesn't have a good objective or end date.
No, there's not. I mean, you saw what happened in Iraq. You saw what happened in Syria, in Libya, Yemen. If we get involved in this, there's our regime change special that we offer to the world is not something that you want.
If Iran does fall, they are taking bets on Polymarket of when it will topple. The coup will be toppled. Will there be a coup attempt? Will the Ayatollah be dead by what date?
Doesn't Israel already have the Shah of Iran?
Yeah, I actually looked this up, and I believe the son of the Shah, because I think the last Shah is dead. The son of the Shah lives somewhere in the world. I think he lives in the U.S. I could be wrong.
I think so.
I don't want people to sound off in the comments. I don't know. I just want to say that.
What's his
I don't know
right now?
Yeah. Okay. So he lives somewhere, I believe, in the world that is obviously not in the Middle East.
Yeah.
I know that family moved from Iran to Egypt because I was reading about it this week to get prepared for this. So we have that 2-week notice by Donald Trump. There's also the first, I would say, Twitter war between politicians that are about to go to war.
Yeah.
That are between Donald Trump is tweeting at the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah or the Iranian media is tweeting back.
Yeah.
You can't even tell which one's the real Iranian media group because there's so many fake accounts.
Do you remember when the missiles were first launched by Iran into Israel? The caption or the tweet was, "We have arrived."
Yeah, and let's be clear. There have been documented evidence of Iranian pro-backed militias that have engaged in fights against Israel, doing business as, and then insert a militia group that has no ties. So you call that paramilitary people.
Yeah.
People that are aligned with a cause that are not part of that entity.
So like Hezbollah or Houthis.
Right. Or Russia does a lot of that in Africa where it's not Russia, it's just a quasi-Russian. What's an version of that for America is...
the Mujahideen during, not the most recent, but during the Gulf Wars.
Right.
We were, we were funding the Mujahideen to take over Afghanistan or take over that region, and they eventually transformed into the Al-Qaeda.
Make an argument that it's like almost like Blackwater in the U.S., where they're private contractors. They're doing the U.S.'s cause, but they're not U.S. troops. Stuff like that. Maybe you can make an argument that it's been as long as time, like Haitian soldiers in the Revolutionary War or the French Foreign Legion.
But whatever the argument is, it's infringing on any idea of peace in that region or the peace in the Middle East in our lifetime is not going to happen because of these other proxies coming in and destabilizing the region. Which okay, I don't want to go on the conspiracy angle of this, but
let's not go down any conspiracy. Let's just report the facts.
Okay.
We owe that to the chat.
We do. It's just the Middle East in that region specifically. There's a lot of trade that happens. Having a destabilized region like Iran specifically, that means you would have first of all of our products that we use daily. There's gonna be a price increase, but it's all trying to be rerouted. But who knows? That's a conspiracy.
But anyway, there's a Twitter war between Trump and the Ayatollah. So people are tweeting back and forth that says, I know where he is. He'd be an easy target, talking about the Ayatollah. And then them tweeting back, threatening things like them cradling a baby nuke and stuff like that. I do want to talk about this. We talked about this last week because I had called this out that China has ties to that region because it is their tie to the Middle East and they're one of the main exporters of oil to China, Iran. China had a plane that mysteriously went off the radar that was destined for Luxembourg. Do you know about this?
No.
So it flew through a lot of areas that are not NATO controlled. Flew through China, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. Then it vanished off the radar near Iran. Despite having flight plans to Luxembourg, and this plane never made it to European airspace. Okay, it was a cargo 747 Boeing freighter, just so we're all clear, 5 of them disappeared off the radar. Potentially, this could have had anything in a cargo ship What does Iran need right now? A lot of people are warning that these commonly are used for transporting military equipment or weapons.
Yeah.
There's some fueling concerns that maybe it came with fuel that they needed, such as rocket fuel, propellant fuel for future rockets and whatnot. And then it's also just weird because they submitted a false flight plan. So it could have been, shot down, or there was something really big where Donald Trump said, we control the airspace, but I guess not, because these planes made it through. And,
and have you seen the flight radar or these images go around like Twitter?
Where they go around Russia and Ukraine, they go around Iran.
Yeah. Isn't there some type of treaty between Iran, China, and Russia to where they, like, if one nation gets attacked, then the other two nations will come in?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Do you know about, you can look that up while I continue to talk about this if you want to just look it up real quick.
Like, it's the reason I brought it up is yesterday I saw a press conference that Putin held where he was asked, so what would Russia do in the instance when the Ayatollah is killed? And his response was, he was just flabbergasted and didn't really respond with a real answer. Said, let's just pray that never happens. Let's pray it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild. Like, you can see videos of pre-1970s Iran, and it looks like a modern 1960s. Like, it just looks like there's a lot of people who could assimilate into San Francisco during that time. There's a lot of modern stuff.
Yeah.
And then immediately it became, Islamic law there. And we made an argument when we were in high school. There's an argument that there are no longer theocracies. It may be one of the last theocracies that's left.
It's and this is pretty well documented. There was a Islamic revolution that happened in Iran. I wonder who funded that. But whatever happened was it. Okay, we don't go down that rabbit hole.
Let's stay off the conspiracy. I tell him facts, he goes conspiracy route. I tell him facts, he goes conspiracy route.
It's all I know is it's just sad because the people caught in the middle are just everyday, like people like you and me who are just going about their day, and they're going to be caught in the middle of this tragic war. I think something that Trump did was very, very stupid. Was he tweeted or he truthed that immediately leave Tehran.
Did you retruth that?
Retruth.
They did. They did. It's called a retruth, like a retweet on Truth Social. But anyway, they did show a picture of the streets of Tehran.
Yeah.
Really bad situation for the people on both sides. We know people that have family on both sides. I did see there's an American hiker who's trying to hike from somewhere in Asia to somewhere in Europe, and now he's stuck in the borders and cannot get out.
Yeah, dude, it's a tragedy. I hope these next 2 weeks some type of deal is reached where you don't have to where armed intervention does not need to happen in this region.
I did see a pretty funny work from a Papa John's worker that said, "Why are you late?" And they called their manager and they said, "Because I'm trying to see if I need to come into work today based on what Iran's doing." Like, they're waiting for the world to end so they can be like, "Oh, damn, I can't go to work." But anyway, this is a very weird situation because it's one of the first social media things where, like, it's kind of like the Ukraine-Russia situation where it's a GoPro war. We get all this war, for lack of a better word, porn.
Yeah.
We should never see this, and now we have to see it. So it's just drone videos.
And those drone videos are horrific, dude. They are horrific.
Going back to a domestic topic, have you heard about this man, this California nudist who was accused of killing his neighbors and drowning his dog?
I would have heard about it. What is that? Was not on my radar.
No. This story's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Okay. Orange County. There was a disagreement between two elderly couple who own a Shih Tzu and a well-known popular nudist in the Orange County community. Yeah. The disagreement started over tree trimming and them offering him a $1 hot dog.
Okay. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, and let's hear it.
Apparently, there's photographed evidence that was presented in court when this guy was either arraigned or brought before the court, whatever stage they are in the criminal justice system in America. And the text that he sent was, "I have chopped up my neighbors. I didn't know I had it in me. Snapped," all caps.
Wait, okay, time out. So what exactly happened? $1
he is
and
accused,
a hot dog?
He's accused of murder of these two people.
Yeah.
And their dog is missing. Okay,
so dog's definitely.
So the dog is probably definitely dead, which they suspect in the article.
Yeah.
He also said that he also texted someone and said that he felt that the dollar dog was a jab at him and made him feel about as worthy as a $1 hot dog. Okay. So what is this man charged with? And what evidence have they allegedly found of this crime that he allegedly committed?
Yeah.
What they have found is that this man in Orange County has chopped up his neighbors, his elderly neighbors, more than likely, put them into plastic bags, put them in a secret chamber underneath his house or trailer park house in this trailer park in Orange County. And the dog is also admitted, which they believe he had drowned the dog. So they offered him $1 hot dog and said like something along the lines that made him feel like he was worth $1 hot dog. No one knows what he said, but all I can tell you, these 2 geriatric people are missing.
Yeah.
They were more than likely cut up.
Yeah.
And he drowned their dog. So all over a dispute over a $1 hot dog.
That is extremely sad. That is extremely sad.
Got a few more facts for the chat out there.
Okay, let me just get the story straight. So how over $1? How does that even come to a conversation?
Well, apparently there's an argument about tree trimming where, you know, if your trees are going over a neighbor's fence, you have the right to trim their tree, but that might not be what you should do to the tree because it could counterbalance the weight. I want to get into tree trimming. There also is a dispute about them offering $1 hot dog and it being passive. Yeah. Basically. I do want to report that Cuddles, the Shih Tzu, is still missing. Cuddles is the name of the dog.
Okay, I hope you find him.
Human remains were found in plastic trash bags in a sophisticated underground bunker on this property.
That is horrific.
And then he has pled not guilty to all charges, but the evidence is mounting against him.
Yeah, okay, that's, I mean, if he sent in a text, that's pretty damning. I don't want to put 2 and 2 together until the court system's done its thing, but
we can say put alleged in front of all of this, but this is one of the worst crimes I've ever heard.
That is a pretty bad crime. Side tangent, we'll get into this next week, but the Minnesota shooting, that was horrific.
Yes, of the lawmaker, that is pretty bad.
And some of the facts have like come out about it. This was a man who worked for... he had his own security firm called the Praetorian Guard, and Praetorian just means guards that
I've seen Gladiator 2. I know what it is.
So they protect the king. That's not here or there, but he targeted Democratic. Was it a senator?
Yes, but you're burying the lead. Why was she targeted? Because she voted to defund healthcare, I believe, in the Michigan state,
Minnesota.
Yeah, okay, Minnesota. Keeping me right, Chad.
They because they have a policy where even if you're illegal or legal, you get free healthcare.
Yeah, and she voted to end it, right?
Yeah, end it for illegal immigrants.
And did you see when she was speaking about it, she looked nervous when she was speaking to the public about it?
Because I'm pretty sure she was getting... I mean, it's got to be par for the course to get death threats all the time, but no one expects something like this to happen, because what the details are is this man showed up at their house at 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. The police commissioner that was given a report said if he was here right now, you could not tell him apart from the cops that are here. Mm-hmm. He was fully outfitted. His vehicle looked like a regular police vehicle.
Yeah, but then he had on some like weird leathery bald mask.
Yeah, which I mean, that
you couldn't see too because he was shining the flashlight in the door, so you couldn't really see his face.
And so he attempted to kill he had shot 2 other elected officials.
Yep.
And then he killed the spouse of the senator and the senator herself after he showed up at their place. Basically, what the police commissioner said is that if there's ever a police officer at your house, it's going to be a buddy system. There's always going to be 2 of them. It's not going to just be one, as a way to kind of warn public of what to look out for. But whatever it is, we'll get into more next week because the details with this are crazy. This man's backstory is something else. He is not, and also, if you call him a Democrat, he'll be deeply offended because he did vote for Trump. He is full right wing. So this case doesn't really make sense as to why he would go out of his way to go kill her. So,
yeah, none of it makes sense. We're not glorifying it. We pray for the families.
Yeah, that's horrific, dude. Okay.
All right, we're going to move into 6 big beers, and then we'll have an ad read from Brijesh.
Okay, sweet.
So 6 big beers for your first time listening to the Lucky Lotus FM podcast. This is 6 reasons that someone needs a beer this week. Who is your person? And then I'll go and tell who my person is.
My person is Ted Cruz again.
Okay. Mine is going to be the Laker fans. Do you know about the Lakers?
Tell me about them.
The backstory there is that after, I believe, 40 years of owning the Lakers, they're no longer going to be a family-run business. They have been sold to Mark Walter, and he is a billionaire, and I believe he owns several other sports teams and ventures and whatnot.
Okay.
The Buss family who owned them, most of their business was running the Forum or running the Staples Center or running the crypto arena, and happened to own the Lakers, and that's all they did. They're very similar to the person that owns the Raiders, where that is their only venture. They don't have, they're not like a Jerry Jones where they got rich from oil money.
Okay.
Then they bought the Dallas Cowboys and now they have oil money. Yeah, this is all sports related.
Okay.
He used to own the Chrysler Building. If you haven't seen the series, it's a very good series. Jerry Buss sold the Chrysler Building and bought the Lakers.
Okay.
And that's all he did until he died.
Well, okay, so tell us about how. So why did they sell it in the first place, or do you know?
They're selling it for $10 billion. So
Okay,
there's
yeah,
10 billion reasons why they're going to sell it.
Yeah, that's a pretty big reason.
But the Lakers are only worth $10 billion. So if the Lakers are worth that much, that may not be as a big a valuation for other clubs. So this is really a litmus test for the market. So could they have sold it for more money in 5 years? Could they? This is now the top of the market. The NBA's ratings are also tanking, so this may be a good year to sell compared to other years. Mark Cuban sold before they went down, and he got a pretty good deal. Yeah, he sold the majority of the stock, or majority share. She's doing the same thing. I believe she has a minority stake, but she has sold the majority ownership.
God, okay.
All right. So this week, my 6 big beers, 6 big reasons someone needs a beer are
Let's hear 'em.
Lakers fans. Lakers sales sparks meltdown. Jeanie sold the team for a majority stake for $10 billion. Fans at X are acting like she traded Kobe Bryant's statue for a bag of chips. Lakers Nation screaming betrayal louder than the Staples Center buzzer beater. Jeanie needs a TikTok dance to distract him.
I like that one. I like that one.
X is roasting her like a bad trade. Lakers fans on X are dragging Jeanie, calling her the GM who ghosted LeBron's prime. The memes are spicier than courtside nacho spill. She still needs a viral clapback to shut down the haters. Hashtag hate Jeanie Buss. Hashtag Laker fans.
Oh, she doesn't deserve to hate.
These are all trending hashtags on X right now. The Luka trade triggered fans' tantrums. Jeanie pulled off the Luka trade, but fans were whining about losing Anthony Davis like it's the end of the Showtime era. X posted fumbled the dynasty. A viral skit of her dunking on trolls would break the internet. You hear me, Jeanie. We love you, Jeanie.
We do.
Hashtag Luka trade. Hashtag Jeanie Buss Lakers.
Hashtag.
All right. This is another one that's trending is hashtag cheapskate Jeanie. Lakers fans are making that trade claiming she ran the team like a yard sale. Dodging big signings to save pennies. The shade's so wild she needs a viral rap battle to prove she's balling again with that $10 billion check.
We're waiting for it. I'm ready for that.
All right, number 2 reason the Lakers need a beer. Family Feud memes have hit savage. The sale is dredging Jeanie's siblings SmackDown. Jim and Johnny saying she sold the Lakers to flex on them. X is flooded with Buss family soap opera gifts. Jeanie needs a viral reality TV cameo for all this chaos. Hashtag Buss Family Feud. Hashtag Jeanie Buss.
There we go.
The number 1 reason
hit us.
Jeanie needs a beer. The number 1 trending Twitter at this time Lakers meme is Jeanie the Jinx. Lakers fans on X swear that Jeanie has been a curse for the team since the 90s, blaming her for every L since Shaq exit and the Luka backlash. Jeanie the Jinx is trending harder than LeBron's highlight reel. She needs a viral exorcism skit at Crypto Arena to yeet the curse and rule the algorithm.
Okay, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Did you like the yeet?
Little emphasis. I like that.
Yeah,
he's putting it on for the camera.
I'm putting it on. I had to read them off. We had to have our notes prepared. We can't hear from you again this week, chat.
Yeah.
Please don't comment nasty things about Brijesh's body.
What? Please don't. I'll die.
Yeah, if you guys have anything bad you want to say about the podcast, you channel it into Brijesh's physical form.
What? I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah, me too. I hear you, brother.
God, dude, I gained 10 pounds after we started this.
What's 6 reasons Ted Cruz needs a beer?
So, obviously, he always needs a beer. That man is a walking cringe factory. Mm-hmm. So, he was recently on Tucker Carlson, and they were debating about our involvement into the war with Israel and Iran. And one of his justifications was that it's written in the Bible that we have to support Israel.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then Tucker was like, "What? Where in the Bible was that written? Like, please show me."
Tucker asked him a bunch of questions that, what's the exact population of the U.S.? What's the exact population of Iran? And then it's like, what's the forecast this Friday in Tehran? Like, it just got ridiculous at a certain point. Yeah. But I did like that he didn't let him off the hook, because when he was on Fox News, he always had to take the Republican side, because that's the network, right? It's the most biased right-wing network, just like MSNBC is the most biased left network.
Yep. And what is it? Side note, that a recent thing Trump said against Tucker, that you should have your own TV network or something. And then Trump was the only way he got elected. Not the only way, but one of the biggest factors of him getting reelected was he did a podcast circuit where he got most of his like young men voters to come in and vote for him.
Yeah.
So just to kind of like dunk on him after that, it just makes the whole thing doesn't make sense.
One say it's Baron behind the curtain pulling the strings. Let's get into your 6 big beers. Why Ted Cruz needs a beer.
Okay, beer
drum roll,
6.
please. Number 6.
Ted Cruz got so owned by Tucker Carlson, he's now googling Iran population in prison because that's where his credibility is locked up after the pathetic flop.
All right.
Beer number 5.
That was not good.
Okay, God.
Okay, number 5.
Why did Ted stammer like a fool on Tucker's show? He thought Iran was a new beard grooming product, not a country he's begging to bomb for clout.
That one's pretty good. That one is a chuckle.
Okay, beer number 4. This time I'm going to get all my beers.
All right. Beer number 4.
Cruz's interview was such a disaster, even his beard ran away in shame when Tucker exposed him as a clueless war-hawking grifter.
That is true. That's funny. Beer number 3.
I wrote this.
Time out.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Beer number 3.
Ted's "We're striking Iran" slip up on Tucker's show proves he's not just a senator, he's one-man fake news machine with a side of spineless groveling.
I don't like the groveling. Maybe
Yeah.
new word choice next week. Chat, sound
There we
off.
go.
Again, if you don't like these jokes, please comment on Brijesh.
And my form,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
My physical form.
Please make a spiritual hate joke for Brijesh.
I would love that. I love the interaction.
We love the engagement.
God,
we're an
you
open
went-
orifice for engagement.
You went to work on that. Oh my God.
Oh, man.
The comment section.
I'll let you know. Brijesh is going to clap back on some people if you start talking about his body this week.
Hashtag Brejesh's body.
Hashtag Brejesh's body. Like, what's the movie? No, this is good podcasting. What is the movie where it's is it like Jessica's Body or something with Megan Fox?
Maybe is it where like she's a demon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's
That's what
Body.
it is. Chat, we figured it out. Sound off in the comments. We
Okay.
figured it out.
So beer number 2. Why did Tucker shred Ted like cheap confetti? Because Cruz's brain is a no-fly zone, and his hawkish rants crashed harder than his 2016 campaign. Do you like that?
Pretty
one?
good. That one's pretty good.
Beer number 1. Ted Cruz's Tucker meltdown was so brutal, he's now hiding in Cancun again, hoping Iran doesn't notice his sorry excuse for foreign policy expertise.
All right. That deserves a round of applause. While that applause is happening, folks, I just want to remind everyone that the power went out in Texas, and Ted Cruz took an unplanned trip that he recently booked to Cancun and avoided all the no power situation. So that's the joke about Cancun.
And it's just hilarious. Why is he like? Why did it keep
He
reelecting
said,
him?
I'm with you as I get on this flight to a vacation destination.
Dude, he goes to Cancun all the time.
Yeah.
That man loves that. Okay, whatever.
Must be nice.
It must be.
I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
like that.
You never seen that where it says like, how are you going to finance this Hellcat today? And someone's like, cash. And they go, it must be nice. I'm trying to get like you, my boy.
We need a soundbite of
Yeah.
that.
Well, I can record that. I'm just basically a soundboard over here. That's been 6 big beers. Brijesh is going to move into his
Carrying this
ad read.
podcast.
I just want to tell everybody thanks for liking, subscribing, supporting us so far. Episode 16.
God, yes.
Who would have thought we
16
would have been
episodes.
here at 16?
Yeah, we're gonna be here for 116
many
too.
more.
Many more.
You got that ad read over there,
I'm
big
ready
boy?
to go. Okay, so call WCWS Law Firm today. Our expert attorneys are here to make the process smooth and stress-free with services like settling estates, managing wills, resolving disputes, handling trusts, and guiding you through every legal detail. Based right here in the heart of Memphis, we're your local probate pros. Reach us at 901-523-1844 or visit WCWSlaw.com now.
All right. Brijesh is going to move into a serious news topic. After that, we'll have My Roman Empire. We're going to wrap it up with boy bossing too close to the sun and childhood trauma.
Okay, so
Brijesh is about to talk about the stock that no one knows until last week what the hell they did, which is
Palantir.
All
so
right.
Palantir was founded in 2003 by Peter Thiel, Alice Karp, Stephen Cohen, Nathan Gettings, and Joe Lonsdale.
I'm just going to tell you right now, someone's going to be, hey, you guys just going to read off your notes the entire podcast?
Well,
yes, because you guys correct us the entire time if we
single
don't.
time.
If we mess up one word, one name.
But whatever it is, okay, back to Palantir, what this company is about. So what they do is they aggregate data. So this can include financial transaction, criminal records. I don't know if they're into medical records yet.
Right, but if you have an 80-year-old grandmother and they ask you, what do you do for a living? And you say, I aggregate data. They're going to be like, computers, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make, because back in 2003, no one thought big data was going to be.
Well, they're data mining, right?
Yeah, 100%. They're data mining, and they're on the they're on the cutting edge of data mining and finding patterns from this data. That's what their big sell is, because right now they work with the CIA, NSA, just about every single agency in the United States, and they work with local law enforcement. And I think they also have a private sector or a private side too, where they work with hospitals to aggregate their data to find trends or whatever. Yeah, trends is the biggest thing, or hidden patterns. So the biggest controversy with this is this is very unpatriotic, because you have one even the name Palantir. Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't. But
are you talking about Sauron, the ring to rule them all?
Yeah. So Palantir,
Bilbo.
It was a device or some magic orb in Lord of the Rings, where if you look into it, it can show you information like information or whatever you're looking for. It can show it to you.
Sick nerds.
But every single time you look into it, it makes you more evil in the process. So they chose this name, dude.
Well, speaking of choosing names, one of my buddies sent me a meme this week that said, "Could you think of a worse name for a company than Microsoft?"
Yeah, when you put it like that.
So anyway, Palantir.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a much better name.
It sounds badass, but it's like your genesis of this name is this is an evil device that you're using to spy on us.
Well, not spy on us. Record a record of what we've done.
Yeah,
right. So it's different than spying. It's spying into your past.
Okay, so there are two sides of Palantir. One's the government side. One's the public side. So one of the sides it's called Palantir Gotham. Mm-hmm. So that's what works with. I don't know who's choosing these names,
these nerds. Well, yeah. between Palantir knowing my past and the NSA knowing my future and present, I don't think that I'll have any problems in the future.
It's one of the reasons why they're in the spotlight right now is that they've been instrumental in these ICE raids recently. So they're so every single person in the United States has a cell phone. Let's not say every single person, chat. I'm sorry, not every single person has a cell phone. But a large majority of people have cell phones, and they're using this data to track illegal immigrants and to conduct these ICE raids. So this is one of it's helping you find these illegal immigrants. But then this script can flip, because it also tracks our behavior as well, and what our shopping patterns are, what our financial records are, where we go, what we do. And it's the crazy thing is because we don't know what kind of patterns they're seeing, and if they have insight on our behavior, then they can algorithmically, I don't know, not mind control, but it's just they can have
predictive.
Yeah, a predictive algorithm that can kind of steer us subconsciously into whatever direction they want to take us into.
Well, right. One of the most powerful things about Amazon is that they have you bought this, you may also like this. Exactly. And then half the time you see it, you're like, I didn't know I needed that.
This is last week when we were talking about it. It's the Minority Report actually happening. This is a cyber, what is it? A cyberpunk dystopian future that we're headed into.
Every day, I think it might just be easier to just go in the woods and live on a homestead and take care of myself.
We can go to the Appalachian Mountains. There's a lot of people there that have no internet. They have no electricity still.
You know, it's funny you say that. A lot of people from the Appalachian Mountains, they don't say Appalachian. And then the correct pronunciation, Appalachian, is like the English Oxford Dictionary way you say it. Appalachian is how people say it from Appalachia. Dude, and that's where you get into, instead of antenna, it's antenna. Instead of wrestling, it's wrestling.
Well, whatever it is, it's the oldest forest that we have in America. And goes to I don't know why we're getting to this. 13 different states.
Well, that's why the Smoky Mountains and the Rocky Mountains, they're curved because they have lost their peaks. Like the Rocky Mountain has peaks, but the Smoky Mountains are curved because they're so
soon
old.
Palantir's going to find us in the woods too, so it doesn't really matter.
They will come for you.
And I guess the only reason I bring them up is it's caused a lot of buzz because this is a direct infringement on our privacy. We should not be spied upon. We should not be. Not only are we unwittingly being spied upon, but then this data is taken, and then our behaviors rearranged to suit whatever governmental entity wants that day, whatever forecast they want to project, and whatever trends they want us to accept. It's this is going to be an essential tool for them to use. And yeah, go buy Palantir. Their stocks going wild.
Yeah, man, it's just, it doesn't give me a lot to look forward to. Like when you say stuff like this, I think of what will my kid's life be?
Yeah.
What will my remainder of my life be?
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like how I wanted my kids to grow up on Razor scooters and whatnot. It seems like they'll have them profiled for jobs.
Yeah.
It's not Gattaca, like the movie, where you have the genes to be an accountant.
Yeah.
It's Gattaca, but they're telling you they know that you can't be an accountant based on your predictive AI model.
Dude, that's the scariest thing, because even in Gattaca, if you weren't gene edited, if you weren't made superhuman, you were already you're already profiled against getting these certain jobs. The best you could do is become a janitor or something.
Until you win at the end in a swim race against your brother,
Yeah,
because you have more will than skill.
Epic. And then he got like heightened surgery.
Shout out Gattaca. For those of you who are younger that have no idea what we're talking about, this is the podcast for you. Gattaca.
Dude, don't worry. Our age range is 25 to 38. So
that would be a CRISPR and gene splicing would be a good thing for us to talk about.
No, we can. It's I think we talked about it on the second episode we ever
All
did.
right. If you had to say one sentence that summarized your thoughts on Palantir, what would it be? And then we'll move on.
It's a demonic entity that's controlling, that will lead to a cyber dystopia.
Good God, man. I hope no one comes after Brijesh and absolutely finds his online profile.
Will, dude. Don't call it body shaming. God. Hashtag Brijesh's body.
Yeah, we're trying not to get
look at me readjusting my shirt.
Don't leave us bad comments. If you haven't seen the suit episode, you can watch my little tummy tucking out.
Dude, you see my nips.
Hey,
too.
For those of you stuck with us and you're listening, we're gonna have quite the drip on next week for 4th of July. So I just want to plug that.
There we go.
Thanks for following us. X, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, where you find podcasts. We're gonna move into My Roman Empire.
I was about to say, dude,
no, I'm not rapping. I'm just plugging, baby. Look at him getting so nervous, chat. Don't comment on how nervous he is.
Oh my God. Okay.
Dude, you're a little giggle monster today.
Well, my bad. It's like you're throwing me for a loop. My co-host.
Let's wrap it up. We got 6 more topics. Brijesh ready to get the hell out of here. All right. We're going to blow through My Roman Empire. I'm just going to give you the quick and dirty. This is what I was thinking about today. No one knows where Alexander the Great's body is. That seems like a very important thing to know where it would be.
Yeah.
It's the single greatest conqueror in the world. You can put him up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore. Him, Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Insert other person. Probably Napoleon's on there.
You said Genghis. Hannibal Barca.
No, Hannibal lost. Hannibal's a loser. Probably Julius Caesar.
He
or
lost.
Augustus Caesar.
He lost too.
Or Augustus Caesar.
No, I'll stick with Julius. I like Julius.
Somebody. What do you?
Ahsoka. We'll go into Ahsoka. He's the Indian. Actually, not the Indian version of Alexander the Great, but he is like his own. Like
we got a Homer over
Mega
here,
Man.
people.
Okay, but
all right. Alexander the Great's body. Okay,
I know where it's at.
Where is it?
Wasn't it somewhere in Egypt? Didn't they like?
It's funny you say that because in one of my facts they talk about Venice claimed that they had it for a very long time, and then someone admitted was like, "This is the best tourist trap of all time. We clearly don't have the body." So anyway, Alexander the Great's body has been missing since 3223.
Yeah.
BC, or no, excuse me, 323 BC.
Okay.
Good.
Chad, you got the right numbers.
Based on historic facts. Excuse me. He died that year. Thank you for complimenting me.
Yeah.
He died in
323
BC. We're not going to use BC. F that. We're using AD and BC. If you don't like it, don't tune into this podcast. All right. So first of all, they immediately preserved his body in honey and wax and then had a gruesome sideshows. You could go see his body as it was carted back from Babylon to Macedonia. Okay. And then Ptolemy the First, one of Alexander's successors, stole the body en route and took it to Memphis, Egypt, and legitimized his rule. He said, "I have the body. I am the ruler now."
Yeah, because I mean, the body itself represented power.
That's right.
Yeah.
Talk about a real power grab. Want to go into this? He also had a golden sarcophagus, a 100% golden sarcophagus that has never been found, and it was bedazzled, dripping in bling. It was later swapped for a gold one in Alexandria. No one knows what happened to that, so that was lost before they even knew where his body was.
Yeah.
It became a tourist attraction in Alexander, Egypt. It was there until like around the 400 period of AD, and then no one knows what happened to it, okay? People have visited, such as Augustus, Caligula, and they're saying that Caligula more than likely stole his breastplate that he died in, okay, to probably cosplay at his house. Then Augustus repeatedly broke off a piece of his nose while admiring the corpse, okay? This is all alleged.
Yeah.
Then there are also claims that his body did not decompose, fueling his myths of divinity.
Yeah, because he was what, a demigod?
Yeah,
the son of Zeus.
Obviously, people think that early Christians or Romans tomb raided this thing long ago. Like I was saying, in the Middle Ages, Venice just claimed after between 400 in the Middle Ages AD, they claimed that they found the body, and then a bunch of people traveled there to look at just some random mummified body.
Which, I mean, you're not going to know any better.
So in 2025, it is still missing. But despite every week, there's a new one that's like, they found the body of Alexander the Great.
Dude, you know what would be really impressive? If they found a body of Genghis Khan.
Yeah, or the Ark of the Covenant.
I think they already found, CIA already found that.
Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe they're astral
Turkey.
protecting it. Have you read about that?
Dude,
if you guys haven't read about that, Google astral projecting Ark of the Covenant.
Ark of the Covenant, what is it? I forgot what it's called, but the CIA is, what is it called when they sit, not astral projecting, but you can like sit down and
the CIA is listening, and they will be commenting on your body as well.
I can't even think. It was on Joe Rogan recently where...
I'm thinking we're talking about the same thing. I think we're talking about astral projecting, where you spiritually protected on a different realm and point.
Like Hal Putoff was on...
Man, we're really out there, Chad.
Well, Hal Putoff was talking about like the CIA spent millions of dollars into these astral projectors. We're going to fix it next... Actually, you know what? I'll go into next week. That is a...
Astral projection?
Not astral... Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
We'll put an addendum in it.
Before you do your history segment, I am going to do an ad read for Vincent Smith at Remax Experts for all your real estate needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned investor, or you need to move out of your current pad in exchange for a change of scenery, Vincent's a lifelong Memphis area native, licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi. He can help you navigate this tricky market like an expert. Call Vince, your trusted friend in real estate, 901-248-8274. Anytime, he will take care of you and treat you like family and take great care of you. Call Vince today. That's Vince, one more time, 901-240-8274.
And thank you for sponsoring us.
What is your Roman Empire?
So this has nothing to do with history, but more of a current event.
All right.
So have you heard of this lady named... Oh, I'm going to so mess up this name. I'll let you look at it. Onaja Andrew Robinson. Here, try saying this.
Yes, name. I've heard about this lady. I'm not going to pronounce it. I don't want Chad to correct me.
Okay.
Correct Brijesh.
and my body. Okay, so basically the story with her is she's 33 years old. She goes over to Pakistan because she got catfished with somebody. As she's in...
She got catfished by a boy that's between the ages of 14 and 22, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm a rich billionaire or something like that.
It worked. She showed up. She was camping outside of his house for days. I think almost a month had gone by. And this is a crazy thing. I think anyone in the world can just hold a press conference in Pakistan because she was holding one press conference after the other.
Well, yeah, it's pretty wild that a tourist would come there and be like, hey, and then she outwore her visa and whatnot.
Yep.
It's also rumored from her son that she has a mental health illness or she was having a mental health crisis.
Yeah, you have to have
allegedly.
Something. So one of these press conferences, she was asking for money. First, she started with $20K and a flight back to New York. But then she said, she turned that around and said, you know what? I'm going to fix Pakistan. Give me $100,000 and I'll fix the roads. I'll fix the infrastructure and everything. I love that.
Which might as well translate it into like 9 million Afghani.
Dude, my thing is that she's demanding all this money, but the fact that the government's holding press conferences for her to make these demands, everyone around her just sitting down laughing and just having a good time.
It's amazing she didn't get kidnapped.
It is, or stoned to death. But she's made it back to New York. I think she arrived late February, so she's back in the U.S. But her stint, man, she could have brought
modern history.
Yeah, she could have brought modernity to Pakistan in whatever region she was in. But that's mine. That's what's been on my mind this week.
Your modern Roman Empire, similar to the Terminal Man, the man stuck in the French airport.
Yeah, but not really, dude. He wasn't catfishing.
But like much sadder.
Much sadder and a little bit funnier.
All right, we're going to move into childhood trauma. Childhood trauma. Okay. This is a segment where we talk about a traumatic event from Brijesh and I's childhood. If you haven't heard the other ones, tune into the last episode. They're pretty good.
Okay, take us away.
All right. My childhood trauma comes from our time at Germantown High School.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is?
Dude, no. There's a lot of traumatic
It's a really embarrassing story about you. No, I'm just kidding. His face, Chad. His face. I'm just messing with you. It's about me. So for homecoming.
16 episodes. This is what we did this podcast for this one moment.
So in high school, you have a week where it's homecoming week and you dress up like different things throughout the week.
Yeah.
Okay. So like Monday's diving, Tuesday's nerd day, Thursday's, business day. Okay. So they said that it couldn't be nerd day because they said that some people dress like how people think nerds dress.
Yeah.
And so they made it genius day, but it was nerd day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone knew what it was.
As nerd day, I want to set the tone for everyone that I was 315 pounds, hadn't missed a meal in about 6 years. And I wore a shirt without a collar stays. So my collars were like way out here. So I'm in this like Costco wrinkle, like spill free shirt.
Yeah.
I'm in khakis that have like an elastic waist because it's the only thing that fit me in high school. And then I'm also in Chacos. So my big thing was they were like, why are you wearing Chacos if you're dressed like a businessman? I was like, because I'm a genius businessman who can wear whatever he wants. And so then I also had a Dollar Tree cigar where if you pulled on it, it looked like it was lit. And I would just go, this pleases me the whole day. Okay. On top of this, I had a typewriter. I brought like a really old school typewriter. Every time you hit the key,
dude.
Every time you hit the key, it went real loud. Okay. So I'm not going to do that into mic for everyone that's just listening on the audio.
I'll do
While I'm doing this, I want to tell you that it's 50 pounds is how much this typewriter is.
Yeah.
It's a typewriter my mom used in college. So at the time, I'm carrying this thing around. I'd get about 5 minutes into class, and the teacher would be like, are you serious? Besides our physics teacher who let me go all class.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then they made me stop. Once you hit the end of the page, it swings back across, and it has a counter lead weight in the bottom so it doesn't swing off your table. And it goes, ding, like that, and then it goes back across. So you have the head on it, the printer head moves across, you go, and it moves across, and then it goes, ding, and slides back over. So by like fourth period, people are calling people being like, watch out for Burkholz's typewriter. Like, watch out for my typewriter, all this stuff. So we're leaving and I've got to walk down the stairs to leave out of this like triple like level hallway. So I come off the third floor, I'm fine. Come off the second floor, I'm fine. Come off the first floor to go to the cafeteria. I'm not fine. Yeah. I missed the last 2 steps with 50 pounds in my hands. Yeah. So guess what happens? 315 fat Jimmy slams into the wall. I slam the printer into the wall. I break the tile that's on the wall. The printer dings. You can hear it because it's in a stairwell and it echoes throughout the whole building. And I just look up and more people are looking over the balconies of this stairwell going, oh my God, are you okay?
Genius is down. Genius is down.
Laying on the ground. And my buddy Austin is just laying laughing hysterically. So it looks like we've like gotten into a fight or we both passed out or something. We got people running down the stairs and I'm like, sorry, I have fallen. And like the principal was like, what are you doing? Like, is this some sort like the principal came from another building over. Yeah. That's how long I was on the ground, like Peter Griffin with this typewriter going,
So everyone was already on the lookout that, hey, Jimmy's on the prowl.
With this typewriter. And then I was like, this typewriter's so funny. And little did I know it would be my demise for the day. Slamming into a wall. It was laying on my back like a 350 pound turtle.
Being turtle.
350 pound turtle. I wasn't turtly enough for the turtle club.
You made Austin's day. And you made mine too.
Yes,
and
there you go.
Hopefully you made yours as well.
All right, tell us that embarrassing story I was going to tell.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so so we're not going to talk about the one story that we said not to talk about.
Yes, that's right. We are not.
Okay, so my other story is when I was a wee bit toddler. I think it was maybe 4 or 5.
Would you say a youngling?
A very youngling, but a big head. I had a huge, massive head.
Go on.
Because I'm a genius. Whatever.
They had to borrow Burjess's childhood head and knocked down a building on 3rd Street. So, Burjess's head was so big it entered the room 2 minutes before he got there.
Me, dude. Okay, so 4 or 5 years old, we're in Oregon, and I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, did your dad ever like kind of pick you up and kind of like swing you over the lake a little bit, kind of pretend like your feet barely touching the water?
Yeah, and you're like wee wee wee.
Yeah. So I was like, when's my turn? And my turn never came, so said like screw it.
He's swinging your brother, right?
Yeah, he's swinging my brother, and I said screw it. I'm also a duck. and I jumped in, and this was a raging river, so the current just takes me.
Oh, you're in the water during this time, okay? And your dad's playing with you in the water.
Yeah, no, like he's like right outside the water.
Where was this? Do you know where this is now?
It was a state park in Oregon.
Okay,
and I know it was like near a waterfall.
You know, if you would have been there, you know, someone would have picked you up on the other side of that river and thought they found Indian Moses on the other side.
Dude, they would have been. I would have been just, let my people go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You have united them in the Northwest.
We found our Indian Moses. Okay, so here I am. I jump in the water, and of course, I don't know how to swim. All I remember is like I'm being rushed down the river. I see my mom and my grandpa frantically running down the river, screaming like, "Oh my God, he's gonna die! He's gonna fall off the waterfall!" And then out of nowhere, my grandpa just jumps in, like swoops me out the water. And the moral of the story was that we had a pair of clean clothes in the car, but as my punishment, I had to walk around all day in wet clothes.
Ew.
Yeah, it was.
Is that your punishment or a punishment for everyone else? You musty little kid.
It was river water smelling Brijesh.
You say you're like 3 or 4. I bet you're like 12 or 13 at the time, dude, and like you're to the point where you should be wearing deodorant, but it's not socially acceptable yet.
Imagine 12 or 13-year-old me and my dad still like trying to pick me up and do a little.
Oh my God!
No, there's no way, because I think when I was 12, dude, I was way.
So your punishment was to walk around in wet clothes.
Yeah, and it was just
talk about a '90s kid punishment.
And it was just like what was worse about it was that my grandpa would like make other people point and stare at me. And
were you cold?
I was cold, dude.
So your grandpa was like, "Gross, this kid. He's so wet.
He's so wet and nasty." And it was just, it was a very traumatic moment. I realized I can't swim. Learned later, like 10 years, I was scared of water.
Do you ever think about that every time you get in the water?
Every time I want my grandpa jumping
now he will, chat.
No, yeah, because right now I'm jumping in with the my clothes still on, you know.
Just for the SEO,
waiting for my summer bod.
You almost died in a river,
yeah,
and then your family saved you, and then also made fun of you.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, that's the best punishment you can give a kid, to never do that again.
Well, you know, they need to bring back 90s public shaming.
Yeah.
If you walked out and you had dumb stuff on in the 90s,
yeah,
ooh, people would rip into you.
Oh, my God.
Early 2000s, not a chance.
But that's my childhood trauma. Shaped the man I am now.
There you go.
Yeah, it made me very self-conscious.
All right, everybody, we're going to wrap this up, do some plugs. We're going to move into our boy bossing Too Close to the Sun. Before we do that, we're going to plug everything right now. Keep you waiting for the boy bossing Too Close to the Sun. X, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon.
You got it. TikTok. And I think that's
Feet Finder.
Feet Finder, Only Toes.
Brajesh's wetfeetpics.com.
Check it out. The website just went live.
Mm-hmm. God, I can't believe no one had that domain.
That is a hell of a domain to have.
All right, so my boy bossing Too Close to the Sun. I really didn't have one till I got over here. I've been sick this whole week, okay? So my sickness has been, I've had a rash on my hand. You can see it right here. It went up my arm. I had it on both my arms. I had a fever. It broke. I had a fever. It broke. I don't know what I have this week. A lot of people are saying I might have West Nile. I did have dengue fever one time, so I'm working on my mosquito-borne illness Thanos ring. I've had a migraine since Sunday. I'm going to the doctor on Monday. I can't work out. I can't lift anything. Or
are you contagious?
Exhausted. No.
Okay.
not that I know of. You'll find out in a week or two during the incubation period.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, man, I just want to have a normal day. We got over here. We're about to start podcasting. I feel something on the back of my neck. God. This just happened. I feel something on the back of my neck. And I said, that's weird. It feels like a bug. Then I grab it and it's a fuzzy bug. And I go, oh my God, this is a carpenter bee.
Yeah.
So I go to pull the carpenter bee.
On the back of his neck.
On the back of my neck. I have a headache right here. On the back of my neck, I go to pull this carpenter bee down, throw it on the ground. I'm just staring at this bee. I threw it on the ground so hard it died. And I'm just thinking to myself, I couldn't think of a worse way to end my day than being stung right in the center of the back of my head.
Yeah.
Probably right like on top of where my cerebellum is.
You already have a migraine.
And I was about to be stung in the head by a bumblebee. And this is also the same week that extremely rich billionaire died from swallowing a bee.
Yeah, dude, I've actually never seen this happen to anybody, having a bee stuck in their hair.
Little did I know what a little flower
And what happened 5 minutes earlier? We almost ran over dogs.
Yeah, 5 minutes earlier, I almost ran over a dog that had gotten loose in Brajesh's neighborhood. So I'm having quite the hell of a boy bossing day.
Yeah, so it's...
that was my boy bossing Too Close to the Sun.
So my boy bossing Too Close to the Sun. Let's see. So last week it was the audio messing up.
Yeah.
This week it was Actually, I've had a pretty uneventful week. I really don't have a boy bossing.
You don't have a single boy bossing moment too close.
No,
to the
most
sun.
of my
Chat. He's coming unprepared. You better think of one, or we're just gonna start roasting you.
I gotta let me think of one. Is there anything?
I'll just start making jokes about your appearance. Do you think of one?
I do know.
They're looking for a city bus they stole. Little do they know it was parked where Brejesh's head used to be.
Why are we doing this, chat? That bee should have stung you now.
What's your boy bossing too close to the sun?
Okay, you know what? It was a road raging incident.
You is the ragee?
Yeah, I was raging because it was, dude. I was leaving the hospital, and you'd think like everybody kind of knows, like has situational awareness of what's going on.
It's a hospital.
It's a hospital, right? Like there's only 2 lanes to get onto the highway. Like relax. I'm trying to get on there too. So are you? And this person, if I hadn't braked my car, and I drive a pretty big car. I would have like totaled this other person's car. He would have like
humble brag, pretty big car. Was it a real shitty car that cut you off? Usually the shitty cars.
Yeah, it was an Impala. So let that tell you what it needs to tell you. The car almost it cuts in front of me out of nowhere. I'm happy I'm not on my phone because I don't want to admit it, but let's be honest, most of us are on our phones when we're driving.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, maybe this was like intervention, like some God intervention where it's like, hey, like do not crash your car into this other person's car.
So if you were on the phone, you would have crashed into this person.
Yeah, 100% I would have. And it would have been a T-bone, and it would have been such a crash where I would have been liable, like, because I don't have a recorder in my car to tell authorities that, hey, it wasn't my fault. It was this person's fault. So it would have looked like it was my fault. And so I'm traveling behind this car, and this person's purposefully going like 20 or 25 miles per hour. At this point, I'm thinking like, hey, this person's like either about to brake check me or like do something.
Or they're just, older person maybe.
This dude was not old.
Do you ever do that though? You have a road rage moment, you speed up and it's like some sweet person in the car and you're like, damn.
Then I feel bad. Then I'm like, yeah, but this time I didn't feel bad. And it was just...
Did you guys make eye contact?
I made sure I made eye contact with this person because it's just... Dude, like insurance fraud's like off the rails right now. Like this is not something I want.
You think it was a swoop and swerve?
It was a swoop and swerve, dude. It was 100% a swoop and swerve, almost a swoop.
They got out, grabbed their back, grabbed their neck. They got chest pain.
Yeah, and lucky for them, they're next to a hospital too. So that insurance claim it would have gone wild. It's like crazy man crashed into another poor Impala. Like, what were you thinking? And then I don't know. So that was my road raging moment. My boy bossing too close to the sun. Thank you. Like no incident happened, but it could have. You would have seen a frustrated Brijesh, dude. Having no car is not fun.
Well, damn, man, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. I'm just
glad you're here, babe.
Dude,
I'm glad you make it. Every day I leave the house without a gun. It's a gamble.
Pray up.
There
we go. All right,
squad.
We got a chopper.
Gang.
What's up? How you doing?
All right, we're off the rails. We're going to wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're not going to plug everything. We plugged in enough during the show.
We did, but please follow us on YouTube. Follow us. Let's go and replug it.
Hey, we got some good interviews coming up in July. Next week will be our July 4th episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you have ideas for a segment, please email us at luckylotus@gmail.com. We love fan mail. We love hate mail.
We love hate
Brijesh.
Mail. We do. That's my favorite kind of hate mail.
If you talk about either of us, Brijesh will clap back in the comments.
Because it's me the one. Yeah. I'm the one. No, but last thing, please, the challenge is, not the challenge. Our 1,000 subscribers will still take you to Memphis Pyramid.
It's happening.
Dinner. So please like and follow us on YouTube, on all the social media, but specifically YouTube. I love you, YouTube. For the algorithm, I love you, YouTube. But thank you for all tuning in.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.